Welcome to Au Pairs Unpacked, the cultural care podcast. Today, we're joined by Shanna DeDolph, whose family welcomed their first au pair, Lala, from Colombia only a few months after their twins were born. Lala extended her stay with the DeDolph family, so she'll spend 2 full years with them in their home city of Denver, Colorado. As for Shanna and her husband, they credit the au pair program with keeping life with multiples manageable. Let's hear their story about welcoming an au pair during such a busy season of life.
Well, welcome to our podcast, Shanna. I'm so happy that you're joining us today. You and I have au pairs, and we live how many miles away from each other? Like
One,
I think. We live so close, and I'm lucky to have my son gets to see your 2 boys almost daily.
Yeah,
because our au pairs hang out. So tell us a little bit about your family dynamic and why you decided to host an au pair.
we found out in early 2022 that we were expecting twins. These are our first kids, and we, were kind of in shock, to say the least, and overwhelmed. And we made the decision to welcome an au pair. Our au pair, Lala, arrived when my boys were 3.5 months old, and they're now 2 years and almost 3 months. So we've had an amazing experience with the support that we've had with our au pair.
One of the main reasons we chose the program was the in-home option. Like the idea that I could have my children at home, my caregiver live at home. I could see my son just having control over the schedule, control over the routine, was just huge for us. That in-home customized care was the main reason that we chose the program.
Yeah. The fact that Lala lives with us, she just comes upstairs at 8 usually is when she starts, and I can just peel off and get ready for work to be in by 9. And there's no having, especially 2 toddlers right now, to leave the house. It takes an hour because they undo everything that you do. And they have to do everything themselves. And if I had to do that every morning, I don't know if I'd survive. And so the fact that she's there and I can just kind of transition easily, they know her, she comes up, usually we're doing breakfast and she kind of steps in and takes over, starts making her breakfast, and I can just get ready on my own. And I think about so many of my friends who are working moms that have to figure that out and how to get themselves ready and their kids ready and get logistically bring them to daycare. I don't know, it's an amazing benefit that I haven't had to deal with all of that because we have in-home childcare.
Another major benefit of having an au pair at home is I get to observe how she loves and cares for my kids. I get to see it firsthand. And because I get to see it firsthand and I get to be involved in it, it really helps expedite that trust that I have with her as a caregiver because I see it. And having that trust really puts me at ease as a mom and as a parent, and then really also helps me empower her more to make the parenting decisions that I know that she would parent the way that I parent because I observe it and I'm there to teach her. And it's just so huge for me to have that strong pillar of trust.
So I have plenty of friends who had kids, and we'd, make plans, and they'd hire their sitters, and we'd be at dinner with girlfriends, and they're checking the monitor on their phones, feeling really anxious, texting the babysitter, always kind of updating. And I don't have that at all. I'm able to be at ease when I'm at work. I know if there's an issue, Lala will call me. I know that, if there's something that I need to come home for, or, if one of them spikes a fever, then she's calling me and I'm there. But otherwise, I don't need to worry. I know they're in good hands. I know who they're with, and I know she knows them and what they need. I would say my number one motivation was the cultural exchange and, linguistic exposure. I I speak Spanish, but it's taken me a long time to be able to do that. And I know the developmental benefits of raising bilingual children. And so I always just imagined that for myself. I wasn't sure exactly like how we would make that happen, but the au pair program was an amazing way to do that. So I was focused on finding Spanish-speaking au pair, and Lala's from Colombia, and she speaks a lot of Spanish to my boys, and so they understand Spanish really well. Now they're speaking a lot. They're speaking a lot.
We can't get Mac to speak it, but
yeah, but I mean, there's certain like words that they prefer in Spanish and certain words that they prefer in English. And so it's been really fun to see them grow and develop. So that was a huge part of it. And I think just seeing the understanding and kind of inclusivity that growing up with this person from a different place fosters, I really loved that and loved for that to be a part of the upbringing of my kids.
Yeah.
So bringing someone into that household who speaks Spanish and could incorporate that from the beginning was really like my main draw and interest. But I'd also say I was attracted to the affordability when I had the news that I was expecting twins, and we explored, what that meant for us with childcare and everything. It seemed to make sense.
On the affordability note, I remember when I was looking for childcare for my son, because I have, a 13-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son currently, I was kind of re-entering this childcare search,
search.
And a lot of things had changed in 10 years. And I remember sitting down with my husband and putting together an Excel spreadsheet of cost, what a nanny would cost, what daycare would cost, and what an au pair would cost. And cost is a factor for families. It just always will be. And even after all of the additional costs, living costs for an au pair, some cover their cell phone, their car insurance, their food every day, their education, even adding all of that on to the fees and the stipend, it still ended up being less expensive, even for one child, for us, from my research.
I will say that I think what's worked really well for us is that we think of Lala as another family member. So, she's an additional dependent in a lot of ways. So if we're going out to eat, she's coming with us, she's invited to come with us, and we pay for her meal, obviously. Or if we go on trips, we have to book places that have an extra room for her. And while that's an added cost, all of it is still a pretty competitive affordability option for 2 kids. And with the added benefits that we've been able to receive with that cultural immersion and flexibility, I think it's like no questions asked the best option for us. And flexibility is huge, and it's actually kind of like more than I was expecting as far as the benefit that it's provided. For example, my husband has a flexible work schedule, so he can start work later in the day. So sometimes he'll be with the boys until 11 or 12, and then, say on a Thursday, and Lala then works from like 11 till 8. So we have, an early date night together. And I've recently also been reflecting on the fact that I have never had to deal with a lot of what my friends have to, and finding a babysitter, making sure that they mesh well with their kids and that they feel comfortable, leaving their kids with them. She knows them. It's the same. It's easy to just tell them, no, Mama and Dada are going out. We'll be back. You're with Lala.
And she knows their sleep schedule, their what they need, their routines for sleep. I mean, that's the hard thing, is like to teach a new person your children's sleep schedule.
Yeah, she knows where everything is. She knows what food they eat. And so that it took me a while to actually realize and feel the benefit of that, because I think that's huge. You don't really think about that. And then another example of flexibility that we've had is sometimes, if we have a long weekend and I take a day off to be with the boys. We recently potty trained, and we did 3 days at home, no pants. And so I was at home. I took a day off, gave Lala that day off to do her own thing. So she was off on Monday so that I could focus on this potty training thing. And then we had her cover on Saturday when I was out of town. We don't have family near us either, so we don't have any extra support. And so having the ability to kind of like modify the schedule when we have our own personal needs has been a huge benefit that's worked for us.
Which tends to be very unique to the au pair program in general.
And we have childcare on vacation too. So we bring her, we have some breaks on vacation. And vacation can feel like a vacation, not just a trip. Yeah. That's what so many of my friends say with kids. You don't get vacations anymore.
Yeah.
But we still have glimmers of vacation because we have her support. And she gets these cool opportunities to see New York and Vermont and Florida and California and other parts of Colorado that we've taken her to. So
absolutely. And one thing that's been really huge for us, one reason we love it is my au pair, Mia, both of my au pairs have been able to help me with child-related chores and tasks. Because as a working mom, you don't always have a lot of time to do the laundry, meal prep for the kids, pick up milk when we're out, Mia anticipates that. She's like, hey, I saw that we're out of milk. Can I go grab it from the grocery store? Or Malcolm wants the specific cheese and crackers that he's been begging for. Can I go get it? I'm like, yes. And she will help with both of my children's laundry. So once a week, she strips the beds, she does all the laundry, and then she folds it all and puts it away. She's even gone above and beyond to teach my daughter Harper how to properly fold and organize her laundry and teach her how to do that, because obviously Harper's 13. That's something I just don't have the time to do. And I'm so appreciative that Mia's able to do that.
She might be more receptive to it from Mia versus
100%. Oh yeah, mom's telling me to do something, I have no interest. But Mia is, okay, yeah, I'll learn it. But, that is a benefit. So let's talk a little bit about the challenges of the program, because nothing is perfect, right? There isn't a perfect childcare solution. Really, there's challenges with nannies, there's challenges with daycare, challenges with school, and obviously the au pair program. So let's talk a little bit about what maybe was challenging to your family, and maybe talk about some advice or solutions for families who might be considering it.
I think while I feel like I've truly been blessed with the opportunity to be this important influence on someone else who lived across the country and had nothing to do with me 2 years ago. And there, have been moments where I'm kind of have sort of both professional development type of talks with her and feedback opportunities that, take time to and have to be handled delicately, because we had our first kind of conversation like this, it was about a year ago. And it had more to do with bringing her on vacation and being surrounded by big group of family that are all speaking English, and her feeling a little bit isolated and kind of secluding and retreating into her room, and really trying to encourage her to join us and be a part of it, because I know that's what she wanted, and I know that's what I want. I want her to feel like part of the family. So we've had a lot of coaching around that, and me also empathizing with the scenario that she's in. And that's taken a lot of time. It's taken a lot of energy, because so many different situations are challenging for this person who has never been in this environment, never been in this family, never been in often, immersed in this language before.
I love that you just used the word professional development conversations, because you do need to have those with your au pair to some degree.
Yeah.
One thing is, if a family is looking for a highly experienced nanny, au pairs are young, so their experience is naturally going to be limited. Obviously, they are vetted, and they have to have a certain amount of childcare hours and CPR training, and there is quite a bit of training that our agency provides for them, but they're still between the ages of 18 and 26 years old. So you're not hiring a 10-year professional nanny who's going to immediately know exactly what to do in every childcare situation. So there is a level of, as you mentioned, professional development conversations that need to happen with how to follow our family schedule, or how to deal with the way that we specifically want to discipline our children. So I've also found that to be something that you need to be ready for this program as a parent. And if you're looking for a strictly professional relationship with a caregiver, then the au pair program might not be the best fit for you. And so just thinking about that and setting yourself up for success on the program, is really essential.
Yeah, I think I have had a lot of friends and extended network ask me questions about what is the role of the au pair, and seeing kind of the benefit that I've received and trying to understand. And there's a few that after having conversations now have au pairs and have found success with that. A few that I'm like, okay, you're definitely not going at it from for the right reasons. Like an example of friends that we have, the dad kind of reached out to me and basically it was like, I need childcare, but I also need help cleaning the house. And it really sounded to me like you should hire a cleaner and find another childcare alternative, because this isn't the reason to do it. The reason to do it is to welcome someone who is going to become
a part of your
family and be giving you a lot by spending so much time with your kids. And so I think having that reciprocal relationship, instead of I have this need in my household that needs to be filled. Oh, this is an economic way to do it. That's never going to work.
Yeah. 100%. Having a solid understanding, if you're considering the program, what really works well for families generally is the flexibility, the cost, the cultural exchange, the understanding that there is a level of mentorship that naturally happens from host parents to au pair.
It's such a blessing, and I'm getting chills thinking about it, because we have this relationship in which I'm able to be this mentor for this young adult. She had never lived out of her home with her mom and her sister until she came to live with us. And being involved in that growth that she's had, and while she has also been a huge part of our transition to parenthood and really influenced who our kids are so far to this day, it's something that's probably second only to becoming a mother, been a powerful experience for me. And I'm just imagining us going back and visiting her in Colombia, and just excited for maintaining this relationship with someone who has had such an impact on each of us individually.
I really appreciate you sharing your perspective. I love that we get to do this season of life together with our kids. It's just so wonderful having our au pairs be friends, and I'm just so grateful for you. We're going through the transition of our au pairs leaving and somehow au pairs coming now, literally within weeks of each other.
We're lined up.
We're saying goodbye and we're welcoming again and experiencing that cycle together.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shanna.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Audrey.
Today.
Same.
Thanks for tuning into our conversation today. You can find all the resources and links mentioned during today's episode in the show notes. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to hear more insights and stories from our incredible host families. To learn more about the program, visit culturalcare.com and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And if you're ready to become a host family, download our app to get started for free. There are thousands of au pairs ready to connect.